Alrighty, and we are live, and I'm going to make sure that my mic is working this time. Welcome back to another Land Flipping Formula Weekly live session brought to you by the Land Investing Pros, Paul and Willie. I'm Abdiel, your host. Most of you already know me from the Land Flipping Formula or the Land Investing Pros, however. So today we're going to be having a quick conversation about a very important marketing strategy, letter campaigns. And there's usually two approaches, neutral letters and blind offers. So those are specifically the two that I'm going to be talking about and sharing pros and cons on these specific strategies, when to use them, and why they work pretty much, and how you can implement them in your business, how you can start this. You should know first, they are not the only strategies to go about acquiring properties. There's a few other ways to contact owners and to generate leads for your land investing business. But these are pretty much the two major ones that I've seen and that I use and that are used in scaled businesses, land businesses. These letter campaigns are, both of them work, but for bringing a business to scale, which one is actually the best? Which works best in certain scenarios, because they do work in different ways. And it's really it comes down to being able to work with the owner and setting a professional environment where you can talk about the topic at hand, which is acquiring their property, right? And then I'll be answering more questions on what tools to use and how to use those tools to pretty much do these letter campaigns the land investor way, the land investing pro way. But before we jump into the topic, I want to give a quick shout out to one of my partners, one of my students, I guess, that I coach, Danny Kellis, for acquiring 3 properties now under his name. This is about a month and a half, I believe. Correct me, Danny, if you're there. But honestly, this is when things get real. Pretty much when you acquire your first lot in the land investing business, that's when you realize this is actually very doable. Because from there, land only gets higher in value in pretty much in general. So even if you're holding it for 3 months or a year or however long you're holding it, it's going to grow in value. So if you do it right, if you choose the right marketing strategy and the right business model, you're going to be able to make a profit for sure. You're going to be able to put some money in your pocket. Now, if you want more information on our business strategy or our business model, from our course or from the deal partnership, comment for me below. I'll send you some information. We can get in contact and talk more then. But let's get some interaction. If you're out there watching this live, comment live, send me some likes, send me some hearts. Let me know that you're out there. And also let me know if you have any questions. I will do my best to answer them here. It can be about whatever in terms of land investing. But if you're out there watching this in the future, comment replay. Let us know that you're there also. And also comment any questions that you have. I do come back and try to answer any questions from people who watch this later on. Okay, so let's jump right into the topic. Blind offers versus neutral offers or neutral offer letters. Pretty straightforward, I guess, explanation for neutral letters and blind offers. Neutral offers basically is an offer with no dollar figure. Basically, you're just sending a letter to the owner saying, I'm interested in buying your property. Are you interested in selling? And can we negotiate? So on, right? What would it take for you to sell your land to me today? Blah, blah, blah. Really some pros that go along with this strategy. There are quite a few. It's easy to get in contact with owners using letter campaigns with neutral letters. I would say mainly because they feel more comfortable talking to you when it's just a neutral, open conversation about their property. It can also put you ahead of the competition if you're in a high competition area, in a hot market like Florida or Texas, where the market is kind of getting saturated with letter campaigns. You might want to use neutral letters so you can just talk to more owners. And also if you don't have a lot of capital, this is a good way to go about it. If you don't have a lot of a budget or much of a budget in terms of operations or expenses, then this is a good way to go about it. So you can talk to more people and potentially set more deals under contract. If you're a wholesaler, if you're an investor, you can get more property. Con, though, kind of negates it, I guess. In a hot market where there is competition and I guess it's being saturated with all the letters, like I said, most owners become very aware of their property's growing value. So with that being said, the owner will most likely give you a price since you left it open, to negotiation, and you're giving him or her the ability to set the first price, right? Then they're probably going to set it higher than what you expected, or higher than you anticipated, or your target price. We want to, as land investors, we want to buy property at 20 to 30% the projected market value. That's how you'll be able to. That's a rule of thumb to be able to hit high margins when you make your sales, because then you can sell them at 3 times or more the market value, because obviously the market is the value of those properties is increasing. But I mean, in general, though, you can negotiate. If you're good at negotiating and you're good at speaking with people, you should be able to work your way around this. If not, if you're a beginner, and most of the time I work with people who have no idea. They're just starting in the land investing business with either wholesaling or with their land investing business. So if you're just beginning, maybe this is a good approach if you don't have a lot of capital, but do know that the competition is pretty high in some areas, and also negotiation is something that you're going to have to get good at, whether you like it or not. So just some heads up. Okay, with blind offers, pretty straightforward. Again, you're sending an offer with a dollar figure. The offer is determined pretty much with a market analysis that we do prior to sending out the offer, and we basically aim for that rule of thumb that I just mentioned, is the one 20 to 30% of the projected market value is what we're offering for the property, and it varies depending on the market, right? That's why we talk percentages. So basically, you're saying, I want to buy your property at this price. Would you be interested? If not, are you willing to negotiate? Pretty straightforward. Now, what puts us ahead, and as in the land investing pros, and the way that we do it is kind of different, is that we pretty much send out our offer, our agreement with them, our purchase agreement, the contract, in the letter. It's just 1 page. It's pretty straightforward, pretty simple. They'll read it. And sometimes, actually quite a few times, we just get the letter back, signed and dated and ready to go. So basically, when I call them, I don't even have to negotiate. They've accepted the offer, and I just close on the deal, send my mobile notary over, and turn that title over to myself, and then sell some property and make some money. Anyway, so that's pretty much what really puts us ahead when we do a blind offer. Plus, another pro that goes with this is that because you're setting a price first, you're kind of putting a pin on it. You can go up and you can go below it, but at least you're deciding where to start. The starting point is really important, and it's really important in a negotiation to have control of it. Whether you're doing that with asking questions, setting the price points, and being able to resolve rebuttals or objections, those are really important. So if you have any questions about how to negotiate in these certain situations, and honestly, comment below, reach out to us, and we can totally make a video on negotiating. Pretty much these two offers, they work really well. But something that actually with Danny, the one that I just gave a shout out to, we were talking about, and it really sparked my interest in this. There are areas where the market is just hot, is just booming, like Florida, Texas, so on, right? And there will be multiple price targets within the same, even within the same block, within the same community. So sending a large letter campaign in this area might not, sending a blind offer, for example, to this area where there's multiple price targets might not be very helpful. Because, for example, we ran into this where properties are worth, being sold at 160, 150, 120, and so on. And then literally across the street, for whatever reason, they're being sold at only 50. And there's a lot that goes behind this, but when there's two different markets like that within a specific area, you're going to run into a little bit of problem with negotiating. Pretty much because if you send a blind offer to this area and it's higher or less, you're going to run into a problem with negotiating, and you're going to have to pretty much explain yourself. It's a blanket offer. I want to, let's try to renegotiate. Let me look into the property, blah, blah, blah. It'll be kind of hard to get into that. So sometimes it is good to look at the market. That's why you do have to do a market analysis prior to sending out your letter campaign, and make sure that a blind offer is suitable for this area, or a neutral letter campaign would be better for this area. But for us here at the Land Investing Pros, most of the time we send out blind offers. It just gives us the upper hand, and a lot of times it just works. We've just seen it work so well that we don't change that often. But it is good to keep in mind that neutral letters are pretty good to use as well. However, when it comes to answering the question for a scaled business, and I guess it depends on how you want to approach this, because you have investors like Willie, who has tons of properties. I mean, I believe his last numbers he texted me were like somewhere around 200 that he was selling. And that's a lot. That's a month, by the way. Make sure I put that in. That's a month. Where you have, as with Aaron, another land investor here in the Land Investing Pros, he has lower numbers, but he hits really high margins. Properties that are selling at 10 times the margin, the purchase price. He's acquiring them for $2,000, $3,000, selling them for $30,000 or so. And it just really depends on how you want to approach it, whether you want quality or quantity, you want to focus on your margins or the amount that is in your inventory, right? And all of those can give you good cash flow, good profit. So it really just depends on how you want to approach these. So really up to you again. But with us on a scaled business, both of these land investors, Aaron and Willie, both of them use blind offers. So that's why we use the blind offer approach. It's very simple, very straightforward. And I'll go ahead and show you or talk to you about how you can start your blind letter campaign. Pretty much what we use is, once we've downloaded a listing of properties and owners from either DataPro or AgentPro 24/7, and we've done our market analysis and so on, we'll use a letter printing company like letterprinting.net or so on, and we'll use them to send out 500 to 1,000 letters. Again, I would definitely suggest, and I would advise strongly, if you're doing blind offers, send your purchase agreement with the letter campaign. Just a one-page agreement is actually will work in most states, and you'll have to look into each specific county for any contingencies that you may have to add, or for whatever reason, because each of them are kind of different. But for the most part, you'll be able to do it in one page. Once you send these out, you'll be able to get offers like ours, accepted offers that are just signed, or people who just call you and really just want to make sure that this is the real deal. So definitely try the blind offer approach, try the neutral letter approach. Both of them work really well. I'm obviously biased because I use the blind offer approach a lot. I definitely use the neutral letter also. And they both work. I've just seen more success with the blind offers. Anyways, that's pretty much it for us. If you have any questions, if you have any concerns as well, any comments, let us know in the comments. If you're watching this live, comment live. If you're watching this in the future, comment replay. And if you want to work with us, if you want to partner with us, reach out to us. My email is in the link below on YouTube. If you're on YouTube, like and subscribe. If you're on the Land Flipping Formula Facebook group, hello. And also, please like, comment, send any questions. Guys, it's been great. Hope you guys have a great rest of your week. And goodbye.